Hi, I'm back this week. I'm allowed a day off on a public holiday because my wicked producer at Happy TV makes me work every Tuesday unless it's a public holiday. So today is Tuesday, it's not a public holiday, I'm back at work. Life is hard, you know. Anyway, so what happened last week? The high-speed rail was dropped because Prime Minister Mahathir wants to cut debt. Will Singapore Airlines and Malaysian Airlines lose a big sector of their profit? Perhaps. Anyway, who goes to KL just to eat durians? I think the biggest problem is the Singapore-Johor-Singapore connection. We should concentrate on that sector of travel first. And I think Prime Minister Mahathir is absolutely right in making this decision to stop the high-speed rail taking place now. It can be done later on in the future. When we talk about clean wage, please just look at our politicians, our members of parliament, and see how clean their wages are. It is ludicrous that because of their day job, members of parliament can only see people at night, right? And you know who are the people who work at night. I have great respect for those members of parliament like Tin Pei Ling, Silver Lim, ACRES Chief Louis Ng, who actually gave up their day jobs and became members of parliament full-time. In fact, when Mr. Seah Kan Ping was speaking in parliament, there was almost no one in parliament except for opposition and a couple of people, including the speaker, but many of the PAP members of parliament were missing. It was a parliament without politicians. Another one about Ministry of Manpower officers. 200 workers sharing one communal bath. When this workers' dormitory was built, surely the BCA would have specified how many toilets there should be and how many people should be housed in that particular dormitory. So why did it take such a long time for the MOM officers to find this out? Are they busy chasing the small people and pretending to be blind and not seeing these big businesses which are exploiting our system? Are they already blind, or they only catch the small fish who cannot make them happy? You know what I mean? Minister of Manpower, Josephine Teo, Tri-Partisanship. It is about worker, employer and government. So where does the worker fit in tripartism? This gentleman, he came up with a great breakthrough approach to age-old problem. He implemented progressive wage model instead of a minimum wage model. Come on, stop splitting hairs. At the end of the whole exercise, how much is progressive wage? Is 1,200 a month? Can you live on 1,200 a month? Look at NWC recommending $50 to $70 for those earning up to 1,300. You know, it's an insult to the intelligence of the humans called Singaporeans working in this country and slogging at $1,300 a month. It's time you guys find your conscience. Stop looking at reports by Save the Children organizations. Look at your own Lian Foundation report, which says at least 10% of each cohort at preschools under the scheme come from low-income families. And the CEO of Lian Foundation said this proportion is as much as 50% at some preschools, a staggering figure. So Singapore may be the best place for children to grow up in, but look further than your nose. You know, that indicator, that report is based on 8 indicators. Under 5 mortality rate, child stunting, out-of-school children and youth, child labour, child marriage, adolescent birth rate, population displaced by conflict, child homicide rate. In case you don't know, look at this one. More children are thinking of suicide. Okay? Take suicide threats seriously. Look at this page. Hugs and kisses for mums in prison. This is the first time they allow mothers to hug their children in prison. You know, we have a lot of issues with life for children in Singapore. MediShield, ElderShield, CareShield, whatever shield, a rose by any other name smells just as sweet. All people need to understand is that when they get disabled due to ill health, there is some kind of help for them. Let me tell you a story. My darling heart squirrel, my husband, had a major problem. He ended up going to hospital for 7 months, right? He's not covered by insurance because he had prostate cancer when he was 69 and they don't cover you after that. We went to private hospitals and some government hospitals and we ended up with a $500,000 bill. However, to my great surprise and great gratitude, MediShield paid 30% of the bills. $150,000 is a lot of money and I'm very, very grateful to whoever invented MediShield. So Singaporeans, stop griping. Pay for your own care when you get old. Ministry of Health, what you need to do is to keep the scheme simple and be realistic. $600 a month is not enough for care when you're disabled, right? Because to employ a carer is at least by then in years to come might even be $2,000. So $200 a year, $300 a year premium is too low. You should put a scheme in where people are made to pay according to affordability. Because the whole idea of a country is that the rich will help to carry the poor. You know, unless Singaporeans understand that our love and care for each other can only work when the rich love their country, there will be no hope for our country. I love this Chinese style of retirement. It's called Huddle Retirement. You know, many Singaporeans actually have beautiful big houses. They live in there with 1 or 2 or 3 maids even, and they are so bored, you know. They should follow what the Chinese do. They invite their friends of the same age group. They play mahjong together, they cook together, they have a vegetable farm in the house, and they all work together and they sing together. I plan to build a few retirement units at my farm so that my friends and I can all retire together, we can have parties together, we can sing together. Most importantly, I have a few good doctor friends. I get them to come and stay with us there too, so we have free medical care. Inmates to learn farming as part of rehabilitation, I think is a good idea. But when I read the Sunday Times headlines that says that they are training these prisoners to take up farming because it will teach them patience. Farming in Singapore is no longer about digging a hole and doing planting. Farming in Singapore is a new industry. It's called agriculture entertainment. We have hotels there. We have restaurants there. We have plenty of tourists coming there. You should come to the countryside and see the disabled and challenged people we employ and who are paid well. Come out to the countryside and see the young millennials who are intelligent, well-educated, can get any job they want to, but they purposely come to the countryside so that they are actually helping to carry the rest of their suffering citizens. You know, I always read Chua Mui Hong's article because she writes well. But I have a message for her. Miss Chua Mui Hong, you are a baby, you are an infant. Do not write as if though you know all about my country. You say Singapore prides itself on being a classless society. This was especially so in the 70s, 80s and 90s. Let me tell you something. When I was born in 1949, there were only rich landowners like my papa, farmers, kidnappers, and the bloody British. Do not tell me about an academic aristocracy. I have no problems with academics, you know, leading the country and being the elites, as long as they are honest and do the right thing. That is what is missing. It's not about academic aristocracy. I'm always intrigued with all these articles about things that are going to be unmanned. We have cars with no driver, we have trains with no driver, we have people being able to pay without cashiers. Now they got the unmanned ships. You know, how about parliament with no politicians? But that is already happening in Singapore, isn't it? Thank you for watching my show again. I promise to work hard for you every week, so please do subscribe.